Return of the Jedi picks up where Empire Strikes Back left off, and begins with a terrible rescue of Han Solo. As iconic as Jabba's palace is, that whole sequence takes up about a third of the movie and is pretty much garbage. Luke has terrible tactics and barely succeeds. Let's take a closer look, shall we? I don't know whose plan this was, but I'm assuming it was a team effort. However, I'm going to place most of the blame on Luke throughout this video. Part 1 of the plan is to plant the droids. This is a bargaining chip that Luke offers Jabba so he can talk to him. There are so many problems with this, I don't even know where to begin, so let's just knock them all out. Number 1, Jabba has a whole room dedicated to torturing droids. There is nothing stopping Jabba from just sending the droids down to the torture room and having them incinerated.
Disintegrated.
Number 2, there is no way for Jabba to respond to Luke to tell him whether or not he is open to having a discussion. Luke just has to assume that Jabba is okay with it, so why even ask? Number 3, the droids don't gather any information or sabotage Jabba in any way. They are immediately put to work by Jabba and are of no use to Luke and his crew. Number 4, this whole thing alerts Jabba that someone is coming for him and he needs to be on red alert. He'll probably just tell his guards to keep an eye out for Luke and keep him out. He could probably hire some of the bounty hunters that are hanging around to go find Luke and kill him before he even gets to the palace. Okay, so that's part 1 of the plan. Part 2 is to bring in Louis and... Part 2 of the plan is to bring in Chewie and Leia. Leia is disguised as a bounty hunter and pretends like she's bringing in Chewie as her prisoner. We already know that C-3PO knows nothing about the plan because he is again shocked at what's happening. He even calls Chewie Chewbacca, which no one has done or will ever do ever again.
Oh no, Chewbacca! Chewbacca!
Leia negotiates hard with Jabba to get a higher bounty for Chewbacca and even brings a bomb to a gunfight. I'm actually cool with this part because she gets into the cool kids club right away and is accepted by everybody. And now theoretically, Chewie is planted in the palace and could be really useful down the line. So part 3 of the plan, and seemingly the final part, is the actual rescue itself. Leia either sneaks back in the middle of the night or just hangs out all night. Either way, when everyone's asleep, she starts making her way over towards Han. She unfreezes him and starts walking him over to the door. Again, 100 alarms go off in my head when I see this, and here's why. Number 1, if Leia succeeds in getting Han out of there, that means that C-3PO, R2-D2, and Chewbacca are still trapped in Jabba's palace and they'll have to do another rescue attempt to get them out, which will probably be messier and probably fail. Number 2, while I appreciate the stealth tactics here, Jabba's going to wake up and be outraged and send the whole galaxy out to try to find these people. Number 3, this plan was apparently so obvious to Jabba that he set up an entire theatrical reveal just to laugh in their face about how dumb their plan was. Which brings me to number 4. If this was the way they wanted to do it, meaning sneak in the middle of the night and get Han out, why didn't they just send Luke? His Jedi abilities would have helped him sneak in and silently grab Han, and he would have been able to protect himself with no problem if he got caught. Plus, there would have been no friends left behind. Instead, Han is re-imprisoned and now Leia is a slave girl. Now we are on to the next part of the plan, bringing in the big guns. Luke walks right into the palace and uses his mind trick to just get past the guards and goes right in front of Jabba. If he could have just done that from the start, then why did he send the droids in to announce that he was going to be coming? The plan should have been, step 1, go into the palace. Step 2, just kill everybody. I have to give Luke some credit though. It appears like this is kind of what he's trying to do here. It's actually a pretty cool scene. Luke is a dark, mysterious, frightening figure that lays down the law for everybody. It immediately backfires though, and everybody is screwed. In a pretty sweet move, Luke used the Force to grab a random person's pistol. However, I don't know what he was planning to do with this. Was he going to just shoot everybody? In fact, before he really even gets a good hold of it, the guard grabs his arm, he gets one shot off, and he falls into the rancor pit. Game over. At this point, every single advantage he had is wasted. His friends were planted and they did nothing. He scared everybody in the room and now they're all laughing at him. He did not plan on that pit. If it had been spikes or a furnace or something, he would have been dead instantly. The only time that C-3PO could have been helpful in this rescue, and Luke ignores him.
Master Luke, you're standing on...
I don't know why he didn't bring his lightsaber to this.
Your weapons. You will not need them.
Yeah, I kind of think you're going to need your weapons on this one. One shot that has always stood out to me in this scene is when Lando looks Leia right in the eyes. It's kind of like a comforting, like, hey, everything's going to be okay kind of look. The thing is, I don't know if Leia already knew he's there. The way she reacts, I think this was a surprise to her. And honestly, it's kind of worthless that he's there because now Luke's in the pit and he didn't do anything. So whatever, Luke doesn't have his lightsaber, so he has to kill a Rancor in a creative way. Great. So now Luke and his friends can be brought in front of Jabba and be laughed at before they get sentenced to death. Even Han knows they're totally screwed. It's actually comical how little faith he has in Luke.
Luke's crazy. He can't even take care of himself, much less rescue anybody.
How we doing?
Same as always.
That bad, huh?
I used to live here, you know.
You're gonna die here.
I'm taking care of everything.
Oh, great.
So finally here we are. Everyone's about to die. One of the sloppiest rescues of all time.
Then we decided to come and rescue you. Good job.
Luke surprises everybody and has R2-D2 toss him a lightsaber. Well, you know what time it is. Here's a list of reasons why I think that's dumb. Number 1. How did R2 even get on top of the roof? Moments before, he was serving drinks to everybody on board. How did he manage to get up on the roof? Did he ask for permission? Hey, could I go outside and see my friends die real quick? Can I just take a break and go upstairs real quick? If R2 had still been stuck downstairs, then this whole mission would have been a failure. Number 2, and this part is actually for once not Luke's fault. Lando struggles to fight with one guy and is immediately incapacitated. Han and Chewie are both required to help save him. All 3 of these guys would have been very useful in the fight, and instead, they're doing nothing. Number 3, it's actually pretty unlikely they would have survived this, and I mean that just because of the big gun alone. This guy is pounding their little skiff, these huge lasers. I don't know how he's not killing them. Leia was the only one that was helpful in this. She closed the blinds, takes everyone out of the fight, confuses them, gets the chain around Jabba's neck and kills him. Actually pretty sweet. Then the final stupid icing on the cake is them putting the little magnetic arm to grab the droids out of the sand. Of course they would have one of those things, and of course it'd be perfect picking them up. There you go. What used to be one of my favorite scenes in Star Wars is completely ruined.